Oh my days. Hello, everyone. This is really funny. And now it's funny because what I can see is a person. I mean, it's funny because all I can see right now is a person who has been intentionally put in abject poverty by politicians and now being used by the same set of politicians to fight for something that and to oppress their own people for something that they know for certain the people didn't want. Let me break that down. The people didn't want the current governor of Edo State. The people, the allegations here is that there was rigging to an extent that they never even thought was possible. And it wasn't just about the rigging alone. It was the fact that the way they did that, the brazenness with which they committed such electoral fraud, where the numbers didn't even tally. Literally, they wrote the results even before they went for the election, and they eventually announced the person who didn't campaign, who didn't go for. I mean, you can say campaign by going around and talking, but they didn't even go for a one debate, so we can hear what his policies were, so we could hear what his policies were and what his plans for the people of Edo State was, or rather still is. We didn't hear his campaign. All right. It was literally largely shielded. So now the other party, so as you can see, the two gentlemen there, the top one, the one on top here of the glasses is the current governor or proclaimed governor of Edo State. And the other one is Asue, the guy that's actually challenging the results. And I think at the moment, this is all about Edo Electoral Tribunal at the moment. Um, so for me, largely, this is about looking at the amount of thuggery and you know, insecurity that is now so pervasive and it is now the state of things right now in Edo State. So I want you to continue to listen to this guy here.
What's up, boss?
So the guy is actually masked with a gun in his hand. And now bear in mind, Nigeria is not one of those countries where you're permitted to carry a gun without a license. So this guy comes outside with a gun, with his face mask, and he's screaming, "You will give us our mandate." Meaning that we've taken the mandate and we're demanding for you to give it to us, so you call off the tribunal. Now, from all indication, this is not one of those cases where this guy is actually, campaigning for the one that is campaigning against, or that is, that filed the suit for the tribunal. He's actually on the ground shouting that the current Edo State governor should be let to remain in power. Now, with what? With a gun in his hands, his face mask on the road to what? Threaten, oppress, and threaten people's lives. This is one of the things that I really find about very, very disingenuous. And this is one of the things I find about the current party in Nigeria, our federal party in Nigeria, and obviously in the states where APC won. I'm not one who would talk about PDP and say, oh, the guy who's challenging is a saint. No, I don't have the time. I think APC and PDP are one and the same. Okay, they cross carpet across, party lines all the time. They go from one party to another, depending who's in power. You understand? So if you find out, you'll find out how much all these APC governors and politicians have cross carpeted to PDP and how much they run back to APC. Once this person wins, they go back to the next one. That's why Nigeria political system is a mess. That's how our political law, our electoral laws needs revamping again. Because whilst you're allowed to, cross carpet, you should not hold that position anymore. Because you want it under one particular political party. But that's aside. What I'm really concerned about is this Edo electoral tribunal that's going on right now, and the amount of violence, the amount of thuggery that we've seen. That's the thing that for me, I feel it is something that the people of Edo State needs and should feel concerned about. You know, um, this is barely what 2, 3 months since the new governor took over. It's been insecurity all over the place. Thugs have taken over the streets, the motor parks. You have thugs running errands for the governor. I mean, these were the same set of thugs who were used to rig the elections in the first place. I often say these things. It is how you get a thing, that's how you're going to keep it. And literally, when you get a thing by thuggery, you will keep it by thug. You will do everything possible. And I will use instances as we go on watching these steps, okay? So I will let you continue watching. So now you can see what I'm talking about, yeah? We need our mandate. It's not the fact that the people voted for this particular person who is now the governor of the state. It's about the fact that across the different senatorial district, whether it's Edo North, South, or Central, it was a massive overrigging. They didn't just, it wasn't as though they hid it. They didn't. If it was a place that PDP had time to rig, they rigged. It was the place that APC had time to rig, they rigged. So the case is just about who rigged the most and who can prove that you rigged the most. I didn't rig the most, so I should be the governor. That's my opinion. As a matter of fact, because I think Nigeria is in this mess because PDP, when they were in power, thought they were untouchable and they messed the entire nation. That's why we have all these charlatans as governors or political leaders. If PDP had fixed the nation when they had the time, make sure that our electoral laws work, make sure the police work, make sure our different establishments work, we would not have charlatans like this being on the road or being political governors and councillors and House of Rep and senators. Literally, with all the beauties that Nigeria currently have, what we have currently on ground is criminals. And I'm going to say that by showing you this.
If you want my voice to leave, tell those bosses who people are inside, let them leave. They will tell you because why
that is a tout. That is a tout telling the police. Do you understand? I need you to understand this. If you're not Nigerian, you will not know what a tout is. But if you are Nigerian, you will know these are the ones they call the area boys, right? And you have to have such level of audacity and support from above for you to be able to voice and echo such statement to the police and say to the police, tell that boss to go away because there are people by the way, the people they're telling to go away are the witnesses for the other political party that's challenging the election result. So when a tout sees people that way and he's tell the police to tell them to go because you don't want them to testify. That tells you the amount of audacity, the threat that these thugs have now been empowered with by the current administration. It's all, if you go all over the internet, all you see right now is about the thuggery of one political party or one political party using thugs to threaten people. It's amusing. So you can see that guy with the one that's pointing now. I think that's the one they call Abel Stone, right? And the other one talking before is the one they call Tony Kabaka. These are known towns. These are the same people in this current administration. And the truth is they can never give the sisters, the Edo people, anything good because they're there for their own personal aggrandization, really. So um I, I started with this as an introduction into this um subject today because this is about the Edo Electoral Tribunal and Nigerian politics. And the reason for this is that I wanted to start with this before I then go and talk about Mondo Okpebholo at the moment, yeah? Is because we want everyone taking Edo State as an example, what Nigeria will look like come 2027 if we're not intentional, if we don't make it a must from this moment, you know, because this is 2025. By 2026, it might be too late. These guys are already putting mechanisms in place on how they will rig the next elections. I mean, the current governor says to the president of Nigeria, saying, "I'll give you more than 100% of the vote." How is he going to do that? The person the people didn't vote for, the person who was before the house trying to count to tell them what the budget was, and he could even read the money out, the amount out, and he said it was too difficult for him. So when somebody doesn't have the wherewithal to be, as I said earlier, I said in a previous content that I created that I did a couple of days back, I said we allowed the worst of us to be our leaders. That's why Nigeria is on a down spiral. We literally just rolling down the curb and we're just going. The fact is that we don't know where the bottom is anyway, but that's where we're going because we've now had incompetent people managing competent people, and what do you think will happen? Nothing. It would just be negative all the way down. And you know what? They use these thugs to chase you and I away from the polling booths so that they can get some political positions. Listen, for our politicians, because they have no commitment, they have no personal commitment to what Nigeria should be and look like. Because to them, it's all personal and, aggrandization, or what they can get. So it doesn't matter if they burn the country down, if they burn the state down. We can see an example of what's happening between Wike and Fubara in Rivers State. And if you let this continue, this is what's going to be the issue of godfatherism, which I will come to in a moment. But that guy pointing is one of those guys, as the current governor's enforcer, talking to the police. And he's telling the police, this DSS guy, Department for State Security, is telling a government official, we will show you in this state. It's a tout. In a sane word, where the system works, you cannot threaten the police. But right in front of the police is threatening a civil servant, government official. Now, if that does not beat your imagination, I wonder what will be. But just watch this.
We know you must have problems here too. This one.
You can see how he's challenging the police. This is what happens when the system is now infested with the wrong set of people. So Nigeria is running on autopilot, and it's an autopilot to failure. And what you have is that from the top, from the presidency all the way down. I'm saying that from the presidency because if you look at the presidency, you will see some of the ministers have cases against with the EFCC, and they're currently ministers. There's governors who were being probed, and now they become ministers. And because they're working for the president, they can't touch them. So you just get one. You come in. I wonder. Say the thing that beats my mind is that this set of people feel it's so nice and amazing when they travel to the West. They go to London, they go to New York, they go to America, they go to the United Kingdom, they go to Dubai. They see the way the system works. But they rather steal from their people, oppress their people, to use the money to flex themselves out abroad and then come back home and then feel like I'm just coming back from heaven. While they can make their own system work even better because they have that resources. So do you see my issue with this? So again, like I said, this is the meant to be an intro because I use that as an intro to show you, you know, what it is like when you get the wrong people becoming your governors, when you get the wrong people becoming your senators, when you get the wrong people becoming your House of Rep members, when you got the wrong people becoming your chairman of your local government and councillors in your local government. What that tells you basically is that your system would not work. Nigeria is not going to work with all these other people in that. Let me say this first of all. The current governor gets in, had an issue with the councillors. Listen, I'm not going to go into whether or not they stole money and all that, but follow the right process. So when you have an issue with them stealing, you call the EFCC, let them probe them, but you suspended them. And when you don't have that judicial power based on the constitution to do that. So everything that I've seen happen with APC across the board is always the kangaroo process. Okay, so let's just, I want to continue. So again, this is the discussing Nigeria, countdown towards 2027 and the Edo Electoral Tribunal that's currently happening. So now let's introduce you to the governor.
We are going to provide you with insecurity. We are going to provide you with insecurity.
So this man was on the campaign trail and he was trying to tell, this is but one of those campaign trails that he got into. I mean, please, I'm sorry for laughing, but I'm laughing at the stupidity that we're exhibiting. You understand? This man did not campaign. This man did not debate. This man did not tell the Edo people what his policies will be, what he had planned for the people. So there was one time when he said to the people, we're going to provide you with insecurity. And guess what? He's currently providing the people with insecurity. And this is
If you want my voice to leave, tell those bosses who people are inside, let them leave. They will tell you because why they are.
that's the insecurity we're talking about. Yeah? It's the insecurity we were talking about. This is another insecurity. This is another one. When you read the election, when you read the election, this is what you get. When you read the election, this is what you get. Insecurity all over the place. So what did this man say? We will give you insecurity.
We are going to provide you with insecurity. We are going to provide you with insecurity.
Play this several times because I want it to reverberate in your head when you watch this video. I want you to go to bed vexed because you should not let this happen again. We know that this election was rigged. A do election was rigged. As a matter of fact, all the off-cycle election that has happened since the 2023 election has gone to one party, and that's the party that the people doesn't want. The emo has gone their way, but the people doesn't want that man. And guess what? Insecurity in that state. National level, the people didn't want APC. They rigged their way in. Guess what? Insecurity nationwide. The people who rigged their way into power are flying helicopters and planes and going private jets into different places. But guess who's suffering? The people. The people suffering. Now, if you think that I said it, I want you to hear what the chairman
I think
said.
that for democracy to flourish, only people who can accept the pain of defeat.
For democracy to flourish, the only people who can accept the dividends
should participate in an election.
If you want to participate in an election, you have to accept the fact that you will be rigged out. And the man said, sorry. Defeat. Listen, these guys are intentional about how they want to steal the election 2027 and how they stole the election 2023. They're not hiding it. And I will tell you why. I mean, don't take it from me. Take it from the current president himself.
Study the anthropology of it. Where are we? Political power is not going to be served in a restaurant.
You hear this? When I had to watch this again because I wanted to get some of the things that people didn't talk about when this first came out. That was before the 2023 election. Our politicians don't see public service as public service. They see it as political power. There was one time when Wike said, not too far ago, Wike said that for those of us who know what to do with power, it's about power and control. It's not about service. I mean, you saw what happened with Alex Ikweche when he said he could make somebody disappear. And he told the president, you know who I am? I'm a senator in the Nigerian Republic, in the Nigerian Senate. Obviously, he's a House rep member anyway, but he said he was a senator. It is political power. It is not service. Continue to watch what So he's telling you that political power is not served a la carte in a restaurant. Yeah?
This is what we are doing. It's being determined to do it.
Now, this is where I'm going to. He's being determined to do it. Be determined. These guys, I mean, I give them credit. Our politicians, you have to give them credit because you have to be determined to know by every means possible that you want to win this election and be determined to get it by force no matter what, which is what Bola Tinubu will tell you in a minute. So we have to be very determined right now. Be determined from now till 2027. And if there's any other election, that's any other off-cycle election before 2027 election, I say be determined. Don't let the thugs chase you away for a day because you'll suffer for it for 4 years. They chase you with their knives, with their cutlasses and their guns, and then they rig the elections and they suffer you for another 4 years. The idea behind is they don't want you to vote so that they can write out the result. And then they can determine the result with the help of the court, the judiciary. Because that's one of the biggest. The judiciary is actually one of their biggest complices. So anyway,
At all costs, fight for it, grab it, snatch it.
fight for it at all costs. Grab it, snatch it. That's what that talk was doing earlier. So fighting for it at all costs. You see, fight for it at all costs. Grab it, and run with it. I said it before. I said that when people speak like this, they always have accomplices, people who will encourage it. And those are the minions who go out to carry out this task because they bring them together and say, you organize for these people to scatter that ballot paper there or that polling booth over there. You chase. They're determined. That's why I'm saying this countdown to 2027. Whilst we're putting our eyes on the Edo electoral tribunal at the moment. 2027, don't take it for granted. You can hear everyone shouting, there's hunger in the land. People are hungry. I'm saying this as well so that you know we've been the ones subsidizing this government on our government for so long. You and I have been the ones subsidizing the government because we help our friends and our family members to pay rent, give them money for food. And these government officials have stolen this money. Look at how much Yaya Bello stole from Kogi State. Look at how much Alison Diziani stole from Nigeria. Emefiele is in prison at the moment. See how much is stolen. That's what I'm saying. When the system don't work, we get charlatans become our leaders, criminals. And they will do that with all impunity, knowing that you can't get that money back. After a while, you release them, and they will go into the sweet by and by. So Edo is in a state of what? Panic at the moment, total insecurity. People's lives are being threatened all over the place because they're speaking up against the criminality that was perpetrated by INEC. They're speaking up against the criminality that was perpetrated by Nigerian police and that was perpetrated by the judicial politicians. So now it's in the hands of the judiciary to concretize it for them. So I'm saying to all the people of Edo State, do not let that happen. Take your torchlight to the judiciary. Take your flashlight, your floodlight to the judiciary. Let them know this election cannot stand. After all, Edo doesn't carry last, does it? So you have to make it make sense, okay? Listen, they need Edo State. APC need Edo State for 2027. They cannot get River States again. So they need one more state, and Edo State is within their reach at the moment because they're going to use it to rig the election. They know they're not going to get the vote from other states without rigging. So I'm saying to you, all of you, whether you're in the southwest, south, northwest, northeast, central, wherever you are in Nigeria, you cannot let APC come back next time. Buhari destroyed Nigeria for 8 years. Tinubu came in, one subsidy is gone, and that's it. Nigeria is in a state right now. Listen, Liz Truss of the United Kingdom put a few policies in a short period as the prime minister, a few policies that crumbled the economy, and the economy hasn't recovered till date. When this man made that proclamation about subsidy going without even knowing what the books look like, it crumbled the economy. For a normal society, the man should have resigned. But you know why? It's all about political power. It is power to these people. It's not about service. They don't have you in mind. So it's all about 2027 right now. If you think I'm joking, they're already talking about the president's son becoming the governor of Lagos State next under APC. So this is another conversation for another time. But for now, let's put our focus on Edo State. Edo State has to work, and this criminality needs to stop. All right? The governor, we know, did not win the election. It was rigged, and we need to make sure that the tribunal make it make sense to all of us. All right. So until next time, I'd like for you to subscribe, hit the like button, share, put your comment. Let's see how we can all move the Nigeria forward. Let's look at how we can move Edo State forward. This is one that state. I know maybe you might not be part of from that state, but put your voice, lend your voice as well towards this campaign to make sure that come 2027, this current political party in power will not be there anymore. All right, so the race is 2027, okay? We're doing our countdown towards 2027. We're going to be putting strategies out, what we need to do, what the political parties need to do to get this government of, I don't know what to call them, out of power. We don't want them anymore, 2027. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.